Good afternoon, my beautiful followers. How is everyone doing? So today is going to be somewhat of a quick live stream. I have a bunch of other stuff to go get done. I have clients to talk to. I have free spirit talks to get my butt to go do in a little while with Kendall Williams. I have workshop shit to get set up for the next 3 weeks of workshops, which I'm really excited about. But yesterday I reposted, it was actually a video or an article I wrote probably 2 or 3 years ago. I wrote this article about you're scared of your sex, how we are scared of our sex. And I got some feedback yesterday about, which is what I got the first time I posted this video. Usually I post new things, but it just felt really in alignment yesterday with my clients and things. So I was like, why recreate the wheel? Here is an article that speaks about this fear of sex, So I posted it and I got some feedback like, sex shouldn't be about fear. I got feedback that, if you're scared of your sex, and that's a problem. And while I respect everybody who has a different opinion, I always want other people to voice their opinions on my stuff, because that's what's beautiful about getting to share my work, is that I get to learn at the same time as sharing my perspective and my coaching. But somebody was like, sex should not be about fear. And my response was, sex should be about all the normal human emotions. Sex is about everything. It's about all our human emotions. And if you don't have all the normal human emotions coming up in your sex, that means that you're probably blocking. You're probably holding things back. You're probably not actually digging as deep as you could be digging into your sex. And then this morning I was having a conversation and somebody's like, well, sex is about pleasure. Sex should be about pleasure. And I went, no, sex isn't just about pleasure. Sex can be about pleasure. It can be. And this should be a piece of our sexing. Our sexing should have a piece of deep pleasure. But that is not the point of sex. The point of sex is not to just get that quick get off, get that moment of pleasure. Now, pleasure is a huge piece of our sex and it needs to be a huge piece of our sex, because many of us don't allow ourselves pleasure. We have to really learn to lean into pleasure. People think we struggle with fear, we struggle with sadness, we struggle with depression, but in truth, some of the higher vibrational emotions are even harder for us to lean into as humans. We're told that from the time we're very little, that continual pleasure is not something we should be looking for, that you are, a nymphomaniac, or that pleasure is a bad thing, that pleasure is a bad thing. We get this in a variety of different ways growing up, but we get told that desire and pleasure is a negative. We get told that these are negatives. And so when we are having sex, yes, we should be learning to lean into our pleasure. This is a beautiful thing, and it's something that I want for all of my clients and actually all of my followers and everybody. I want everybody to truly experience the depth of their pleasure, which I don't believe we ever in this lifetime hit the depth of our sex. I don't believe you can hit the depth of your sex. I believe there's always something more to learn. There's always a nuance that you can lean into. Our sex is like the ocean. We will never as humans, right now with the technology we have, find all the discoveries that the ocean has for us, just like your sex. But kind of going back to my original point, yes, there is pleasure in our sex, but there's other things too. Sex is not just about pleasure. Sex sometimes is about pain. Yes. Sex sometimes is about pain. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about doing some of my own pelvic release work and really getting in there and dealing with some numb spots, but also some points of discomfort and pain in my vaginal canal, and that was happening during sex. Well, guess what? If you don't lean into the pain of your sex, if you don't lean into those uncomfortable points, guess what? You don't get the pleasure. You don't get the pleasure. If you don't lean into the numbness, if you don't keep working it and working it and working it, then guess what? You never get to the pleasure. And sometimes our numb goes to pain, and then our pain goes to massive pleasure. This is a thin line between pain and pleasure, and I'm not going to do a whole BDSM talk here. But it is a fine line between pain and pleasure in our sexing. And so yes, even pain is a piece of our sex. Pain from a heart perspective of like that cracking open. The other day I was doing some energy work on somebody that I have great love for. I have great love for this man. I have great love because I've watched us both bloom together but apart. And I was doing some energy work, and I just felt my heart cracking open. And we weren't having sex, it was just some energy work, but I felt the pain of my heart cracking open in that moment, and it was so incredibly beautiful. But it was painful. And so I think to our sex as humans, and if you're not experiencing fear, and I don't mean fear as in I'm gonna die, fear as in like I'm in a dangerous situation. That is not what we're talking about here when I talk about fear. I'm talking about that, can I sit with this sensation? Can I sit with this sensation? I remember, and this is probably TMI, but I remember the first time that I had a man, and that was, I had all these deep orgasms, and it was years and years ago, and he was like, I'm gonna make you squirt, and I'm like, no you're not, I can't do that, and he's like, yes you can, babe, you can. And it was years ago, and I remember laying there, and it actually, the sensation was so high for me at that point, it was uncomfortable, it was painful, it was scary. I felt fear come up in me. I was like, can I stay here? Can I stay in this sensation? And I watch clients do it all the time in their energy work when they're having energetic orgasms. I watch my partners do it in sex. Can I sustain in this pleasure? And then what we usually do in our sexing is we try to we toss off little bits of orgasm here and there with a laughter, or we push back and we pull away, and we try to diminish the sensations. That's what I'm talking about. When I talk about fear in our sex, there should be a space of, all of a sudden your emotions come up, and you're like, oh, this is really deep from a heart-centered space, and that's scary. Or, can I hold this much pleasure? Can I hold this much joy? Can I hold this much connection? And anger. Guess what? Sex brings about anger too. I can tell you, there was a couple weeks ago, there was a moment in my sex and I just got fucking furious. I don't even think my partner knows this. I got fucking furious, and it wasn't at him. It wasn't at him. Our sexing was releasing things within me. And that is what our sex is. It's not about pleasure. It's not about fear. It's not about pain. It's about all of the normal human emotions. It's about connecting us. It's about learning. It's about a mirroring process for us. It is about awakening our life force energies. It is about creativity and passion. It is about connecting with another soul. It's about connecting with ourselves. But it's not about just the fucking quick get off of oh, can I get off? Like, that is not sex. If that is your sex, then you need to come to my orgasm camp on August 8th. You should come to my orgasm camp anyway. But if that is your sex, then that you definitely need to attend, because where I'll give, like, we'll go into actual techniques and tricks, and this is the workshop we do every single year, and it always sells out, which there's only a couple more seats. But anyway, if your sex is just about to get off, then you're not doing it right. You're not leaning in at some level, or you're not surrendering. You're not potentially with somebody who is wanting to actually connect with you. You're not connecting with your own body. You're not connecting with your own body. Because a deep sex, true expansive sex, the sex that fucking moves worlds, where you're like You have to like drag someone off the ceiling because of the pleasure, but also because of the intensity. That is expansive sex. That includes all the emotions. It includes all the sensations, all of it. All of it. And if you're trying to just make your sex in a box of like, it must just be pleasure, then guess what? You're missing out on so much that you could be having in your sexual relationships with yourself or with a partner. Sex isn't just about penetration with another partner. We are always with our sex. We are always engaging with our sex, whether we recognize it or not. Or we could be shutting it down. But that's a whole nother topic. But when I say you should be scared of your sex, you should. You should have moments, not all the time. I'm not saying every single time you have sex should you be scared. But you should have moments where you go, I can do this. This is edgy. This sensation is edgy. This activity is edgy. Whatever it is. Or having this moment of like, this is intense. Can I go here from a heart space? Can I open just a little bit more? And then also those pleasurable moments where you are reaching new depths of your pleasure and you're like, I didn't even know that was possible. I did not even recognize that was possible. I didn't recognize that my whole fucking body can bring pleasure in my sexing, not just my genitals. So, don't make your sex about any one thing. Do not make your sex about any one thing, except maybe expanding. Just make your sex about expanding yourself and learning and getting more connected with yourself. But if you're trying to make your sex just about pleasure, or just about the get off, or even just about fear, or just in truth, even just about connecting with your partner, then you need to dig deeper. You need to be feeling the whole gamut, because that's when we get the yummy juiciness. That is the yummy juiciness of your sex. So, on that note, I am going to let you guys go. I have oral sex this weekend. Then I have the cock connected, which boys, get your ass into my workshop so you can really enter the bedroom as men, as you can enter in your true masculine. So an amazing workshop. It's a small group, men's only workshop. It's the first time we're running it, and we are doing it online or in person. So you have two options to get this workshop. It's going to be freaking fantastic. We're going to do some life-changing things in this workshop as far as men and your masculinity and your sexuality, and really connecting with yourself in not just the bedroom but in your life. It's going to be really, really powerful. We were writing it up the other day and like getting everything all in line, and it's going to be really quite powerful. And then Summer Orgasm Camp, hello! And if you cannot make it to the DFW area, we are live streaming this shit. We are live streaming it. You have asked for years. For years we've heard, when are you going to video it? When are you going to video it? We're videoing it. Thank you, COVID. We're videoing it, but we are doing it in person too. So do not wait to sign up for these workshops. Some of them, there's only like 1 or 2 spots. Some of them are 75% sold out. So get your ass to addisonbell.net, go to the events page and find an event and register. Really expand yourself this summer and your sex. Don't wait until 2021, because then you're going to be doing the same thing next year as you were this year. So other than that, I always have spots available for my VIP clients. Actually, I only think I have 1 or 2 right now. But you can reach out to me for a consult. I have a consult special going on, which you can go to my website and check out. All right, guys, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow for another Addison Unleashed. Bye.